One of the things that I've been having quite a few questions about with the recent lab exercises is how to work with command line arguments. So command line arguments are a tremendously powerful feature that you have when starting and running programs. Allows you to pass parameters from one program to another, to type commands in and process them accordingly. However, thus far, you've really not used them for much. What we want to do here is show you an example of how we can use command line arguments to do things. Now, I've got a Tutorials Point website here, opened up here, tutorialspoint.com, see command line arguments. And this is a fairly decent explanation of how the arguments work. Essentially what happens is this first part, argc, is a count of how many arguments are passed along. That is an integer, and we can have basically between 1 and n, where n is a number that's somewhat limited by the operating system, but it's, for all practical purposes, is not very limiting. The other argument, argv over here on the right, that is an array of pointers to the strings, or an array of pointers to character arrays that essentially defines the parameters. So what we're going to do is essentially type on the command line what the arguments are and go from there. Now, the arguments are interesting in that there is always at least one argument with any program that is ran in C. The first argument is the name of the program that is being run. Beyond that, the arguments can be whatever is passed in, and you can process them accordingly. So you could process them converting strings into integers, so on and so forth, or going and doing what your program needs to do, essentially. So let's take a look at an example. I'm going to put together a really quick demonstration program here. And this demonstration program essentially, I guess I'll do this Emacs demo.c like so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a program, or I'm going to call this command line prompt demo. This program will demonstrate command line arguments. And I'm going to come up with a really, really complex program here that's going to basically print the arguments out. So, int main, int argc, char pointer argv array. Argv is an array of pointers to characters. That's how you would read that. And what I'm going to do here, file include standard.io.h, so that I've got that in there. I'm going to simply print these arguments back out. So what I'm going to have here is int count for count equals 0, count is less than argc, count plus plus, printf %d space or colon, argument is colon %s slash n like so. So I'm going to print out the index and what the argument is. So my index is going to be count, and my argument is going to be argv count like so. So I'm going to process through, do some things like that. And what I'm going to do, I'll save this. And over here, I'm going to do gcc demo.c like so. And I've got, what did I do wrong on the fly? Unknown error. Oh, I know what I did. That's what I did. I typed that wrong, so let's try the same thing again. Error expected before token, so line 12. Oh, yep, I see what I did there. That's what happens when you write code on the fly. Okay, try this again. I've got it, and we can see that I have my a.out, a.out, hello world. The argument 0 is the a.out. Now the dot slash, like so, was passed in, so this is essentially arg0, arg1, arg2. What we can also do, and I'm going to have to change a little bit of how I test this one, is we can manipulate these args. For example, there is a method, a to I. A to I will convert a string into an integer. It's part of the standard lib.h libraries. So I'm going to include those, like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume these are all numbers. And as I go through them, I'm going to have int number equals a to I argv of count, like so. And instead of printing this out like that, I'm now going to print this out as if it is an integer. So now I've got number there, like so. I got to remember when I run this that I can't put a string in or it's gonna fail pretty miserably. So let's recompile it, and oops, I did something wrong there. So, oh yeah, there we go. Recompile it again. And now if I run it with hello world, we get a wonderful 0, 0, 0, because those are not strings. If I put in something along the lines of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, what's going to happen is we're going to print out 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, like so. So I can actually take with a to I here and convert strings into integers that are passed in on the command line parameters. So this is a really, really, really brief explanation of essentially how you go about using command line parameters, argc and argv with C, and the same thing also holds true for C++. Going to bring this demo to a close now.